presentation is on Principle 10, Accurate Thinking, 3 pounds of unlimited power. We're going to be giving information regarding this principle, which is one of the principles of Napoleon Hill's 17 success principles. And every person who achieves any form of enduring success actually has control, and they think accurately. They have control of their mind, their thoughts, and they think accurately. So today I'll be providing you information regarding how to think accurately, some of the information regarding what the benefits of accurate thinking, as well as go over some other details. So the overview that I would like to provide is I'm going to tell you about the power of thought. I'm going to identify the greatest asset of mankind. Then I'm going to confirm where the foundation of all success and achievement lies. And then we're going to provide you some empowerment information so you can obtain greater levels of greatness. Now, the first thing is the power of thought. The only thing over which man has been given complete control of is their thought process, the way they think. Now, the brain only weighs 3 pounds, but it is one of the most powerful muscles in the body. Everything is controlled there. There's so much, that's where you gather your information. If you leave your brain without oxygen for more than 4 or 5 minutes, you'll pass out. The reason for that is your body is trying to help you survive. And then if they consider you brain dead, regardless of what other equipment you're on, they consider you legally dead. So it is so imperative that we realize the power and the control that we have in our mind and our brain, and we not take that lightly. Now, the power, this power can come from the thought process. The power that we have from our thought process comes from both accurate and inaccurate information based on decisions and conclusions. We can go through life and all of our decisions be made on inaccurate thinking. But today you're going to be empowered with information that's going to help you walk off and more accurately think. Know this. When you look at your head and your heart, because a lot of people want to control their selves with their heart, and you have control over your own emotions, if you're looking at the two and saying which should I follow your head if you're accurately thinking. Now, there is internal things that impact your thought process, and there are some external things that impact your thought process, and I'm going to also provide you information regarding that. And one of the things accurate thinkers actually do is they separate fact from fiction, and then when they looked at the facts, they take the facts and determine what's important and what's unimportant. And that is critical, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that a little bit later. The power of thought builds empires, and the same power of thought can destroy nations. It's almost like money. Money is not an emotional element. Money does exactly what we tell it to do. Your brain or your thought process, when you're accurately thinking, you'll grow, you'll gain extensive success, things in your life are going to build. There are great benefits about having the power and maintaining the control of your mind. And then there's great resolve, things that happen, and there's some penalties to it. And that is one of the powerful things about our accurate thinking. Now, in the beginning, when you look at accurate thought, and I'm leaning in, there are consider it two envelopes a person was given in the beginning of life. And when you have control of your own mind, the riches, the things that you get because you have control of your own mind and you're accurately thinking, you'll get sound health, peace of mind, a labor of love of your own choice. You're going to have fear. You're going to have freedom from fear and worry. You're going to have a positive mental attitude, and you'll get a chance for material riches of your own choosing. The quality, all of that of life is based on your own choosing. Now, the penalties for not having control of your mind or accurate thinking is ill health, fear and worry, indecision and doubt, frustration and discouragement throughout your life, poverty and want, and a whole flock of other evils that like envy, greed, jealousy, anger, hatred. Those things will happen when you don't have control of your mind, you don't have control of your thought process, and you're not accurately thinking. Okay, so what I'm going to lead into next is actually the greatest asset of all mankind. Guess what? I've been talking about the whole time. Is your thoughts. Is your mind. It's that 3-pound thing in your cranium. That is the most powerful thing that has been provided to mankind, and it holds all the secrets of success and failure. Every creation, good or bad, was first a thought. Everything that will forever happen in the future is going to come from a thought. So that is so important to think accurately. Now, the principle of accurate thinking is actually the foundation of all success achievement. Are you hearing me? The principle is connected to, is the foundation, the basis, what you stand on as it relates to all success and achievement. So when you look at that, the criticalness of that is major. And when you look at achievement, we're saying everything that you can aspire to, your definite sense of purpose, what you were created to do and accomplish, all of that is connected to your mind. So we have total control. That is the thing that we have been blessed with by our Creator. We have total control over our mind. Therefore, the power over our thought is a privilege. And the way that we use it honors our Creator, especially when you accurately think. Now, if you're not accurately thinking, that's not glorifying the Creator. But when you're accurately thinking and you take control of your mind, that it becomes a privilege that we have been provided, and one that you have become a great steward of, because accurate thinking is an art. Yeah, it's an art. And when I say art, I'm saying just like any artist, the more you use your skill, the stronger it becomes. If somebody's playing an instrument, the more hours they put in that instrument, the instrument gives back to them great success. So that's the way it is with our mind. The more we control our mind and think accurately, the greater success, the greater our mind will give us new inventions, witty ideas, all of those things, so that we can create great wealth and serve others, solve problems when you're accurately thinking. So these are some of the benefits or rewards for just thinking accurately, just from that perspective. And I've listed some of them before, but I want to re-identify them. And it's harmony, peace of mind, freedom of body and mind, wisdom, You're going to understand the things that are around us, the laws of nature, and you'll be able to use principles to your advantage. You'll also have the material necessities to live. And when I say that, that's living at your level, whatever that means to you. Live. Because your mind, whatever your mind can conceive and believe, you can achieve. And notice I said can. It's based on some principles. It's based on having control of your mind. It's based on thinking accurately. It's based on some other principles like your having a positive definiteness of purpose. It's based on having other people around you that help you as far as a mastermind type alliance where you come together as a group and you think about solutions to things, and you have advisors in your life as it relates to maybe a spiritual advisor, a financial advisor, and even a personal advisor that helps that you can run things through. And then, of course, your personal initiative. You got to do it. You got to do it. And then, because it's not going to come to you free. It's not going to come to you that easy. You have to go out and make it happen. You have to use your power of your mind to, and then make an action plan and go out and do things to make this happen. Then, of course, a greater vision. Then also self-discipline, applied faith, because faith without work is dead, being alone. So it does take some work. And then, of course, a pleasing personality, and then going the extra mile. So those are some of the things you have to do to get the benefits of accurate thinking. And what I'm going to give you next is actually the 7 tests to accurate thinking. Because when I say test, it's almost like a filter. If you run things that you're looking at or you're reading or editorials and all of this through this process, then you will think more accurately. Because everything that you see, that we see, this is the age of mass media and information is everywhere. But the information sometimes can be skewed based on who's giving the information and what their motives are, why they're giving you the information, what is their intent, all of those things. So it needs to be, the information needs to run through these 7 filters to help us think more accurately. Now the seven tests are this. Is the writer a recognized authority? Are they just talking out of their head? Or what's their background? What kind of, do they have any authority in this area? Does the writer have a motive other than imparting accurate information? Is the writer or the person who's giving you the information or the TV show, whatever that you're looking at and you're feeding your brain with, is that information, the writer, professional whose business it is to influence public opinion? Because there are times we look at TV and media and read things, and that the person who's writing it, their job is to influence your opinion so you can come on their side. So we have to consider that when we look at information. Now the information, is it sound? Does it make sense? I mean, is it an alternative fact? Is no such thing. It's either the truth or a lie. There is no such thing as alternative truth or anything. So we look at it and say, does it make sense? You know, so that's one of the things. And is there a profit interest in the subject author? Is their objective strictly to make money, or is it to provide information or to impart accurate information? And can the information be verified? Very critical. Can it be verified from a reasonable, accessible sources? So when you look at the information, is it being verified by other sources, not the same source, but other sources that are accessible and their information has been proven? And then number 7 is, are the statements based on a common sense of their common sense or their experience? So I'm going to give you an example. One of the examples is, if I had an opportunity to talk to 3 people about an issue with my child, I can talk to somebody who doesn't have children, and they're going to give me their opinion and information, okay? I'm just saying. Then I could talk to someone who has a child, but there may be some dynamics. They may be doing some things that I'm not sure about, or their children may be acting a certain way. There may be some dynamics that cause me to question the judgment, that the information, and their judgment. Then I could talk to someone who is a psychologist, who specializes in children, who happens to be my friend or somebody's connected to me. Or where would I get my information? From someone who not just has books knowledge, but someone who has experience, or from someone who has no experience. So I would look for the person who has the most experience. However, that doesn't mean that everything the person says to you is true, or you should immediately run out and use. You have to take it through the filters, see how it applies to your life, take what belongs to you, and the rest toss out. Because this is the deal. There are two types. You have deductive reasoning and you have inductive reasoning. Deductive is based on facts, research, all of that. Inductive, based on your opinions, characteristics, things that commonly known, but it's not the same. Then when you look at information, you look at fact, you look at fiction. So then even though it's fiction, you're going to toss it to the side. But even facts, you want to look at them and say, okay, what's important and what's non-important? Like I was talking about the lady, even though she was a psychologist, even though she may have had great information, I need to look at what's important to me, run it through my filter in my head, and what's not important. And then after I do that, I can take that information and apply it appropriately to my life. Because that is a part of the concept of accurate thinking. You have to be able to apply it. So remember, thinking accurately is based on several things, not just fact and fiction, and taking your the facts and deciphering them. Remember, there's some things that naturally, based on who you are, will impact the way you view the world and the way you view correct information, period, information. So it goes through what I call the your world view. So your world view is based on some physical heredity, is based on social, environmental heredity, is based on inductive and deductive reasoning, is based on you looking at it through the eyes of fact and fiction, and then separating the facts and saying what's important and what's not important. You want to look at it and know that it's an act of your will, your personal will, and determine what you're going to accept in your life and what's not. And remember that your emotions may be a part of that, but scale them to the side. Look at all the other things and then use wisdom to move forward, because that's important. And again, as I close, thinking accurately is one of the most wonderful things a person can do to impact their lives. The way to success is action. After you accurately come to a conclusion, take action, 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 and more action. Look at it that you want to attain, be constructive. Take your accurate thinking and be constructive to attain your definite major purpose. And then know, and not just in the back of your mind, know that all human achievements begin with thought and end with work. Use your mind, think accurately, run it through the filters, separate the information, and sometimes we have to unplug from a lot of information so that you have time to meditate, to think, to come to accurate conclusions, and it will impact your life like never before. So I encourage you to think accurate.